This case really blew me away because it developed live on the air yesterday, and we've got some clips of that from the radio/TV show that's 11 to 2 Central as it developed. But first, I want to tell you what happened after the show yesterday. During a 3-minute break, I walk out. Darren McBreen says, man, they bowed up to us. They followed us out. They wouldn't talk to us. They said, this isn't a press conference, even though there was 3 other local news cameras there. They were talking to them. They knew who we were from our last report, which was a pretty fair report, I thought, about all these gunboats they're buying that cost close to $700,000 a piece. So I go on there and I say, man, they bowed up to my reporters. They did all this. Then the phone starts ringing. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls, text messages, program director, the manager, the news director, the producers. Turns out before we even went down there yesterday, for 3 days before, the state police were calling up producer numbers, their liaison in the news department at our local 590 affiliate, asking weird questions about me and stuff. So we must have hit a nerve because from what I've seen, these boats should cost about $150,000, the equipment another $100,000 to $200,000. So it looks like they should pay $350,000 for these boats, not close to $700,000. So I think we hit a nerve here. We need to look at who they bought them from, what they did, because they are freaking out over this. And quite frankly, 3 months ago when the guys first did this report, Darren McBreen and others, I said, man, this is just a local issue. So they're getting their own Navy. So they're going to have machine guns mounted on it. Okay, fine. But we got bigger fish to fry. Can I please have my killer flu story? Can I? Because, again, most news departments, the news director, which I would be, tells you what the story is. I let the guys, most of the time, do their own stories. And occasionally I say what I want to be done. And they take that as optional, but it's not really optional. But they do a great job. And dudes, and they're saying, no, the point is we're into freedom here. But now I realize their instinct to do this was good because, understand, they're calling up trying to basically get me off the air at 590. They called the program director, and we're like, Alex Jones is misrepresenting himself, one of their mind games, as 590, which is standard. When 3 months ago when they called about, hey, we're coming to your press conference because it said call first, I guess so they can spy on you, McBreen, you know, they said, okay, because I guess that lady didn't know who I was. It turns out this head spokesman does. He says it on the tape. Todd Venger. They say, AlexJonesInfowars.com. They say, what's that? Well, it's a radio TV host. Well, where's he on the radio? 590 locally. Where's he on TV? Channel 10. So they took that, where I'm on radio and TV, and they spun it that we were misrepresenting ourselves. So this time they show up, they go, I'm not talking to you. You lied and said you're with 590. Where we take these reports, those of you that listen in Austin, and play them. This Sunday, I'm going to play this report on the radio. So it's always about how we're bad, we're suspects, we're evil, and we're concerned about Alex Jones. And weird phone calls, different people, I guess, trying to intimidate 590. Of course, it's the opposite. We just got the ratings. In fact, I have the congratulations right here. You know, we're #1 in Orlando, #1 in Rochester, and in many other areas. #1 now that the instant people meters are coming out, replacing Arbitron. We're #1 in several demographics for all radio in Central Texas. We're #2 in the key demographic of, 18 to 54. In fact, where's my iPhone? He sent me the ratings on it today. He was telling me about it on the phone yesterday. And it was just like, oh, you know, we're so proud of what you're doing. We need to work on, you know, trying to get it on prime time, the show. Oh, there's Discovery Channel calling. I was supposed to call them back. I mean, here's this cop implying I'm not media and I'm lying I'm media. And here I'm missing, you know, calls from Discovery Channel that wants to, you know, give me shows and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm not bragging about how big we are. It's actually dangerous. I'm just sick of them playing their mind games. All right, enough. I kind of intro it here. It's just that, let me give you those numbers here. Let me pull up those ratings. Tell you what we got going on here. No, it's 25 to 54, the key demographic, #2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go to this piece. Here it is, where the state police think they control the media now, like this is North Korea. Here it is.
Now we are here for the unveiling of yet another DPS patrol vessel. Now this is the second boat of what will eventually be a total of 6 34-foot shallow water interceptors to patrol the Rio Grande River. As the Texas Highway Patrol goes on a wild spending spree, these hot rod boats cost approximately $600,000 each. And yes, that's taxpayer money to fight Al-Qaeda and the small-time drug traffickers on the Texas rivers.
They're buying these giant $690-something thousand speedboats for lakes and rivers that have giant machine guns mounted all over them. And they didn't have the machine guns mounted 3 months ago when we first went out and talked to them at a lake. They didn't know who we were. We did a nice interview, put it on TV. I made my points about how we're going bankrupt, but they're constantly militarizing our police. Darren McBreen and John Brown went out there politely, and they were bowing up. They were saying, we're not going to talk to you, even though it was a press event that they called. They had state police standing right up in their space, and when they left, they had state police follow them out of the parking lot over by the lake.
I mean, here's my deal, man. I mean, you guys misrepresented yourself with KLBJ. I called them, and they're like, no, they don't work for us.
It's not a misrepresentation. We're broadcast on KLBJ.
I mean, this is a public place. You're welcome to film.
But there's not a media representative that'll talk to us?
No.
It goes on to say, are John Brown and Darren McBreen on your staff? The DPS contacted our DPS contact, and we're also affiliated with your show. Can you shed any light on this? I mean, it's just crazy. The state police are calling our local affiliate because, wait, the media is not supposed to ask us questions. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to discuss what's going on. You're supposed to take it. You're supposed to, we give you a press release and you read it on air. That's how America works. We don't have a free press in America.
I mean, I have some talking points if you want it.
Yeah, some talking points. Yeah, I think we got those pretty much last time. I mean,
they're pretty much the same.
I know the cost of the boats and all that.
Yeah.
But we're just kind of wondering about joint military exercises, stuff like that. You know, if there's any.
I mean, you can ask it. Yeah, there's no joint military exercises planned that I'm aware of.
They're spending $600,000 on these.
The 600 plus.
Yeah, for a total of 6 of them. And this is the unveiling of the second one.
With machine guns, militarizing, and they don't like it. It's wrong to sit there and try to violate press freedom in this country. Can you believe calling up our affiliate, trying to imply we're doing something wrong, playing weird legalese games?
And by them following us, it seemed like intimidation. You know, it was pure intimidation.
Well, I mean, he's calling.
I know they plan on buying a lot of these unmanned drones.
DPS is not that I'm aware of.
The state is the state of Texas is not.
We're not.
Because there's like border patrol with the drones and all that.
Border Patrol is federal.
Well, but they're working with federal agencies. That's what I mean. So it'd be like Homeland Security, for example, is federal. Yet they provided a lot of the funding for these boats that are here in the state. You know. So that's why I was wondering if there's any, federal cooperation with these unmanned drones as well for border patrol and fighting these out of control drug wars.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have drones.
Yeah.
Now, whose drones we have access to, I'm not even sure.
Rights activists or whatever are also concerned that maybe these boats will be used to like pull over somebody to, hey, do you have your fishing license? And you got all these tactical guns on there and do you have your fishing license? Is this boat registered? Is there any alcohol on board? That sort of thing. So those were kind of the questions we're going to ask. So.
No, these are going to be used in standard border operations in cooperation with local, state, and of course, Border Patrol.
I hope you're right.
That's
you're right.
That's all they're there for.
We are right.
Well, sometimes they do, but same with the Patriot Act was supposed to be just for terrorists, and then it ended up, going after more than just terrorists. And these are just questions, man. A lot of people get offended by these questions like this, so there's checks and balances,
Well, they were really shook up by Darren McBreen because after this happened, they were just going completely ape. And we still got our interview because they were doing interviews before we got there and then said, oh, we're not doing interviews. Well, we just set up a camera 50 feet away. He asked the questions. There they are. And again, the state police haven't even been on my radar screen, but now you are on our radar screen, trying to imply we're not media, trying to imply. There we are with a microphone saying Infowars. And you're like, well, you're not on 590 because before they said, well, where are you broadcast? Always implying like we're not media. And we're like, well, 590 Channel 10. Well, you're not 590. I liken this to Weldon Henson runs my shipping department, and he can fill up 500 people. He just played a couple thousand at the Houston Rodeo. But that's his night job. His day job is working here. And that'd be like if he packs the Continental Club whenever he plays there once a month. If somebody called up the Continental Club and said, Weldon Henson, who plays country music, does Weldon Henson work there? And they're like, well, no, but he plays here. Oh, he's a liar. He's not at the Continental Club. I mean, it's like some kind of game. And they're calling up like everybody over there going, Alex Jones and his people are misrepresenting that they work with you. I don't know. I just go to their events and speak at their events, and I'm on the radio there. Sure, I've got my own sprawling complex here. I mean, I'm on over 100 AM and FM stations. Again, it shows the system cannot deal with the fact that you don't have air superiority anymore. You're not just going to do this to us in the dark anymore. Buddy, we have millions of listeners a day. All right, yeah, but that doesn't count. You know, it doesn't count that on Alexa.com we're much bigger than MSNBC.com. You can go see it. Doesn't count. Doesn't count how many. Doesn't matter if I have 15 million listeners a week. It doesn't matter if I'm on the cover of Talkers magazine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you are God. And you're going to call up and imply I'm a lying dirtbag. Oh, yeah, they determined you weren't media in Pittsburgh and arrested you. They said, oh, you're filming us, attacking people. We're going to let all the mainstream media out, but you're not media. Well, we're suing them. And they've already tried to settle with dude, but that's not happening. There was no settlement made. You're not media. You're trash. You're scum. Okay? You're not a big corporate New World Order outfit that reads off a teleprompter. In fact, Darren, during that report, he's like, do you got any talking points? Like you're going to give me those and I'm going to give you a sheet back. This is not real reporting. In the old days, government ran from reporters because they knew they were all there trying to get the muckraking story. That was the style of journalism. And news was exciting, man. It was like, you know, there was like every town, the town, 60, 70 years ago, a town the size of Austin would have like 10 newspapers. There'd be 3 or 4 that came out at 5 a.m. There'd be one that came out at 10, one at noon. One at 5, then there'd be the couple of evenings. That's why there's all these papers have names like Evening Standard. Because, you know, it's like up-to-date news, like the internet, man. Bam, 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 bam. And you're like, oh, I want that one. I want that one. And it was all about the muckraking. Now it's about lazy reporters. I've seen it in radio and TV. Just a press release comes in and they just read what government tells them. Well, this is teleprompter free, folks. It didn't happen in here. Okay, I'm done. I got to hurry up here. We got like 2 more hours coming up. Breitbart, I've talked to a lot of big talk show hosts. I've talked to folks that knew Breitbart well, and I don't just mean the reporter we talked to yesterday. I mean folks that know him well. Well. About as well as you're going to know him. And the consensus is they think he was murdered. And I talked to Corsi on the radio today, who's been talking to Breitbart just a few days ago, and is releasing all this birth certificate stuff with Sheriff Arpaio. The sheriff's department thinks they may be being threatened. This may be the White House, and they've beefed up all their security. And that broke today. That's big. In fact, I got to call our writers. They don't even, it's like Sheriff Arpaio and, you know, getting more security. I mean, because of Obama. I mean, this is breaking news. And he talked to Breitbart hours before he died on the phone. Wow, this is huge. Getting calls from New York. Let's see who this is. Hello. Hey. Oh, hey, you're the Discovery Channel guy? I'm sorry, I went over. I totally apologize. Can I call you back during a break in like 5 minutes? I apologize. Call you right back. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's total transparency. I'm like an octopus here just getting stuff done. All right. Breitbart. Wait till they see what happens March 1st. So it turns out he was going to release the video of Obama and commie meetings and all the stuff that would bring him down March 1st, and he died a few hours before in the early hours of March 1st. That's one of the biggest stories in the country right now, up on DrudgeReport.com. Also, Breitbart's footage shows Obama palling around with terrorists, Weather Underground. And now the Breitbart folks are saying that the footage will be released within the next 2 weeks. Well, I want to know why it's going to be released the next 2 weeks. It should come out now. But we'll go ahead and go to some of the other cases where we've heard of them talking about we'll see the video in the next 2 weeks. You know, I've heard that before in Hollywood. So 2 weeks, we're going to get those. It was going to come out March 1st, but now it's 2 weeks. And I just realized we got breaking news here that Arpaio and Corsi and others are having to get more security because they're concerned and think this may have been a hit. Man, that is some amazing breaking news right there.